Hello there everyone. Alex here with Lucksack Games, and we're about to run Modern Tron through another league. This is in preparation of the MCQs at GP Phoenix. It is coming up weekend, so let's see what we can do. I'm very likely registering regular Mono Green Tron, but let's see if we want to shake it up any. Losing the die roll. Never how you want to start off, my mod. This is close. If this was a 6, I'd probably keep it. On 7, I think we can try and take a hit. I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. And I'm the Worm Coil Engine. So we get their turn plus a draw step at any Tron land that not named Urza's Tower to have natural Tron on 3. That's a draw step plus a 1 spawn time. That's 6 cards. We do want a 1 spawn time in response to a Thoughtseize, which it looks like our opponent might be doing if they're on Grixis Death Shadow. Nah, they're on the Astrolabe deck. Go ahead and move to our turn. Oh, do they have turn 1 Emery? That'd be bad. Well, the opponent knows what the top card of our deck is. Now we get to now. Ooh, it was hers is mine. That's a good find. That means this 1 spawn time gets to go look for more action if I want. So let's go ahead and cast this 1 spawn time. It just finds us forest, but that's fine. So definitely a whiff there on the 1 spawn time, so very thankful we hit it off the draw step. Once again, it's a shame that we're on the draw. If we'd been on the play, this game would have been a lot. Since we would have been playing a turn 3 Stony Silence. We're going to play... Huh. Now we get to go get Blast Zone. So we're going to go ahead and pass through our turn with this. And this is going to go grab a Blast Zone, which can blow up all of their weapons. We won't be playing Blast Zone, of course, but we'll have access to it. Where do we get another Urza's Tower and try and... I think I actually like that option better. So we're actually going to go get another Urza's Tower to try and... well, we don't really need access to more. Be in my room. Interesting. Alright, so they actually look like the Wurza instead. I think that's way better for us than the Emery deck. Like, way better for us. I think now we definitely want to just grab the Blast Zone. Ooh, big card. Alright, so we're going to start with small card. It's a good start, so we've Stony Silenced them. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, yes, wish. We're going to grab a smaller version of Lattice and in the form of Liquimetal Coating. Yep, it's going to fetch. Interesting. Okay. That's fine. So we're going to yield through this turn. We have effects on their upkeep. Stun their Water Grave. Now next turn we get to... Ooh, good. Smarter them. Okay. Well, that's not ideal. But... let's see what they have. We like keeping Karn around. And liquid metal coating kind of doesn't do anything with that. Alright, so we can take Blast Zone up to 2 pretty safely here. Map for... if we had mapped for the... I think I'm settling on playing Chromatic Star here. Cycling it for green, because we might still hit Little Karn again. A pause there tells me they might have a force of negation. It's less than ideal for us. There's Little Karn. That is what we were trying to hit, so let's go ahead and cast that. It resolved. Well, that's ideal for us. Go ahead and take away their land. Could not quite have gone for the Lattice Lock there. We're just going to go ahead and play out this map and pass the turn. So because Karn's now going up, they can't just Galv Blast it. They have to have double Galv Blast, which is going to be potentially what's in their hand, but very unlikely. So our next turn is probably crack map for Sanctum of Ugin, cast Karn Liberate. Nah, it's just gonna be Lattice Lock. Who am I kidding here? Yep. Yep. Alright, so we are gonna grab the Lattice here. And then we're going to stun their red source. So if they have Galv Blast, they use it now. And we know. Okay. Move to next phase. Do you have Galv Blast? They do. Okay, so... still get this. Unliberated. Sanctum of Ugin. Play Sanctum of Ugin. Cast Karn Liberated. Trigger. On this one, I think we're gonna go get Ulamog. And then this is gonna take away one of their lands. Alright, pass over to them. We're Stone Rain Tribal. Definitely should have tried to stun the land before we wished. Very reasonable to make 2/1/1s here, especially knowing we have Blast Zone in hand. Next turn we'll very likely play Blast Zone and take it up to 2. This liquid metal coating isn't doing much anyways. Tron land? That's the best Tron land. Alright, we're going to start by taking a card out of their hand. I'm going to cast this Ulamog. Ulamog, the game end. So my targets are going to be this thing and your land. They can sacrifice, and that's fine. I don't think we're too worried about that at this point. I don't have enough pressure to actually kill Karn, and Karn goes up by 4 a turn. Trump blockers don't really matter, because the first swing does 20 cards out of the opponent's library. Yep, opponent agrees that that's going to be good enough. Wurza, huh? Wurza. Warm Crawl engines are almost worthless. Flaming Stone's fine. Technically, we can beat Infinite Life and say, but you know, I like having that more as a. Do I like having that more as a Karn target? I think I like bringing that in. I lied. Hitting Neil's an obvious one, though. Thopter Foundry. Surgical also stops the combo. Same thing with Relic. I like having Tormod script to wish for them. It seems fine. Ugin's a little expensive, but being able to minus to remove Thopter Foundries and Urza seems reasonable. Basically 8 mana O-Stone that doesn't hit their artifacts. Which, mind you, is a real cost. See what our opponent's sideboards. Thopter Foundry. Haven't seen that one since Emery entered the scene. Possible our opponent's also on Emery, but we didn't see it that game. A little upset Prince with that card still. Definitely show liquid metal coating. And if they flowed red, move to the next phase, and if they bolted it, upticked instead. So once you go to move to the next phase, if your opponent takes a game action, you don't have to just move to the next phase after. You can still just uptick on the artifact. Or you can just move to the next phase if they don't use it, and then main phase 2, it's still an artifact land, uptick on it. This one's easily a mulligan. Has our best card in the matchup in Karn, but it's still a mulligan. Triple mine. Well, we want 3 Tron pieces. That's the kind of 3 Tron pieces we want. Alright, we're going to keep. We're going to put back Double Sphere and keep Star. So we keep Natural Tron. Do we just needle Thopter Foundry off the bat, or do we keep it in case they have an Urza? I'm just going to name Thopter Foundry. Play. Yeah, we're just going to go with Thopter Foundry. Hope that hex our opponent up good. Next turn we'll definitely be playing out this Star. Let's go ahead and play out the Star, like I said. And we don't actually need to use this Sylvan Scrying literally for anything, so let's go ahead and just crack this for green now. We might draw Ancient Stirrings this turn. Ancient Stirrings? Haha, I called shot. Alright, unfortunately, we're just picking up a Blast Zone here. But that's fine. Blast Zone's not terrible. But we really were, and we just put 5 cards to the bottom that were not a threat that kills our opponent. We also now have enough mana to cast Ugin. Haha! Joke's on you, opponent. Our hand's terrible. Little known trick to beat Thoughtseize. Make sure your hand is terrible. Thoughtseize can't take good cards if you don't have any good cards. So we get to assemble Tron here. Use the Chromatic. We're going to go ahead and cycle this for a green. Ancient Stirrings. That's going to give us lots of looks. Baby Karn? Baby Karn! Good to see you, buddy. Any order on the rest. We're going to be shuffling again this game, I'm most certain. Baby Karn. Baby Karn's going to uptick on nothing this turn. I don't really need to wish, and I don't want it to die to Galvanic Blast. Which, while it doesn't die to it on this turn, opponent can very easily play an artifact on it. And unfortunately, this is our one threat. Let's go ahead and view the sideboard real quick. We can down tick for a worm coil. I think down ticking for lattice is the line. They don't have enough artifacts currently. So I guess with the metallic rebuke, right? I don't think we're supposed to play scared though. Yeah. So we're just gonna slam this last on the board and hope it's good. You have a response opponent? Okay, I think that's the game. So we've established a lattice lock. Arn the Great Creator, proving once again why he is an incredible Magic card. Got that one 2-0. Alright. Against Wurza. Believe it or not, having 4 Stony Silence as a main board card that also wishes for additional hate pieces. Pretty good. And effectively 3 mana in our deck, more often than not. Does anyone else notice that the #1 trophy leader earned his last trophy over a week ago? His or her? Lost the die roll again. We need to stop doing that. Only winning die rolls for the rest of this league. This one's a mulligan. Get this hand out of my face. This one feels really close. I'm actually going to go ahead and keep it. Any Star Sphere or Power Plant, so that's 12 draws in our deck. Turn this hand on. Okay. But the other option, obviously, is that we get to Ghost Court ourselves for green. I'd like to avoid that if possible. Let's see what the opponent plays this turn. Maybe I kept a greedy one lander. Either that or they're, yeah, nope. Just thinking over which land drop to make. Is Goblin Engineer? That's Goblin Engineer. Wow. Did we just pair against the same person twice? Or is this deck just making a resurgence? It's a sword. Map's a turn late, but I'm not here to complain. Especially since we'll just be mapping for tower anyways. If we draw a power plant. And that obviously we have to get the power. We have no effects this turn, so we get to yield this turn. See what the opponent plays. Sorry about that. Let's fix that and make that full screen. No one that noticed that before now cannot stop that they didn't noticing they did not notice it. Uh-oh. Is this Thoughtseize? Thought Profound. Sure, they will begin creating 1/1s, and we die if they have Urza. Alright, we die if they have Urza. Let's go. Let's go! Alright, so we want Power Plant. We've assembled Tron. Pass the turn. Tower off the top would be ideal. Or Baby Card. I'd be very happy with a Baby Card. Good news is this doesn't look like it's Urza this turn. Woohoo. Mainboard Needle. Spicy. Alright. Well, they're the Thopter Foundry list, which means they're Oblivion Stone. Good name. Cost a single red. Yep. Power? Power plant. So close. Can't believe our players play a land here pass again. They should absolutely sacrifice an artifact here. Instead of using engine. For some reason they're choosing to use it. Interesting. Oh, I guess they wanted to bring back a draw rather than bringing back. That's fair. Okay, that's actual infinite. That makes sense. God, that was awkward. Alright, well, we literally just did this, so let's keep this to the same plan where we agree that worm corals suck. It was pretty obvious from the opponent's draw that they had Urza and we're just missing the fourth land. A little unfortunate that we weren't able to draw some form of action or interaction. A small card or a big card would have been good enough there. Worm coil obviously not. Ugin actually would have been as well, because Ugin can minus to remove the Thopter Foundry. But alas, they killed us. So hopefully we can get it in games 2 and 3. I just can't feel that it might have been correct to Ghost Quarter ourselves to Ancient Stirrings the turn prior and try to get a Karn down rather than the Ulamog. If you think that's the line, definitely leave a comment down below. That I should have on turn 3, instead of assembling Tron, Ghost Quartered my mine. Seems terrible, right? Because it was on turn 4 that I played my 4th land and then they killed us. Once again, if we'd been on the play, we would have Ulamogged away 2 of their lands. And I think the game's pretty out of reach for them. So, Tron, confirmed deck that likes to be on the play. Also confirmed deck that mulligans a lot. Alright, this one's a keep, but once upon a time ironically finds only our worst threat. Actually, I don't think we have only Ulamog. Yeah, it's still fine. Bottom of power plant? Yeah, that's fine. Don't have a pregame effect. Okay, opponent's also on a mulligan. So the first thing we're gonna do is do this, otherwise we can't. My god, we hit. Okay, so we hit Ulamog. I'm a little surprised. So not the best threat to hit, obviously. But the only hit in our decks as far as threats go. Ironic that we also hit Tron. So we could have taken natural Tron there as well. Either take our Ulamog. Which is fine. That just means that we just have to draw another threat off the top of our deck. Ooh, drew the Ancient Stirrings. Pretty confident they can kill us before the Ulamog. Actually, probably pretty accurate. Alright, we've assembled Tron. We're hoping to draw a threat off the top. Ooh, opponent's draw is basically on the back of that Thoughtseize. Interesting. Alright, well, let's go ahead and assemble Tron. Get a big boy threat? Not a big boy threat. Alright. It's literally assemble Tron pass, unfortunately. Pretty sure if they had a Ghost Quarter, they would have used it there. If they crack Chromatic here to try and hit their land. Not, they just naturally draw it. Like I said, Ulamog not the ideal threat here. We're still 3 land drops away from casting him. Good news is, this Ulamog has learned the Shadow Clone Jutsu, and when we do cast him, if we have to make 3 land drops, he will bring a second one. Alright, this is a draw step Assassin's Trophy. Pretty much saw that coming. So, yes. Grab a forest. So now we are a lot more than 3 land drops away from casting this Ugin, or Ulamog. Be able to get this O-Stone down this turn, though, isn't terrible. Let's go and get that on the battlefield. They do have Pithing Needles, so this O-Stone is in no way the end of the world. Also, their current battlefield draws them a card if I blow it up. Now they don't even have a battlefield. Opter Foundry. Anachromatic. Yep. So we got lucky, but our opponent doesn't know that. Get the draw either way. We don't care about the 1/1. We'd prefer they Urzas this turn. So we're going to just go ahead and pass here. It's actually that's great for us that we drew the tower there. It means Ulamog might actually be able to push us into this game. Yep. Alright, now we hope we don't have an Urza's Tower on top of our deck, so that they don't want to blow this Assassin's Trophy that's likely in their hand. It draws an extra card here. And during our main phase, we're going to cast a Ulamog. And once again, like I promised, when he gets cast, he brings along a friend. I'm going to take away those 2, and then go get another one. Gonna be good enough. Did not think we were going to make it through that one. Not think we were going to make it through that one. Alright, let's go. Game 3. With Tronny boys. Wait, me to decide whether I want to play first. I'd love to play first. This hand's not good enough to keep. It's a pretty easy mulligan. A lot of threats and not much Tron. This one's a little harder. I think this is one of those where you go keep and then put back both the threats. Maybe it's just a threat and a stirrings. I'm gonna go ahead and make it a threat and a stirrings. Ugin's only a -2 to wipe the board, and except for Urza. But if Urza's on the board, we're probably already dead. We do a threat anyways. So let's see what they have here. Looks like we both had to take a couple mulligans. I believe both our decks mulligan pretty well. Opponent's Metallic Rebuke up. Opponent's just going to play an Engineer, which seems pretty good. Opponent's hand seems very reasonable. They could potentially cast an Urza next turn, which with Astrolabe means that they can also combo off. Strong game. Alright, see what we got here. Draw. Karn liberated. Alright. Draw off this. We draw. Once upon a time. We've already cast spells this game. So it digs just as far as Ancient Stirring, so we're going to go ahead and... Actually, is that true? We only want a land. I guess Ancient Stirrings also finds redraws. Stir. Because it can grab stars and sphere. While I'm glad I made the right line, I'm not happy about how it turned out. I didn't want to be correct, for the record. So if we survive, pretty big if, and if we draw the Tron land, bigger if, minus on Watery Grave looks like the line. This looks like an Urza this turn, though. Yep. Hello, High Lord Artificer. So currently they can also make 3 mana. Sure, so this is infinite because they have Sword in the graveyard already. Woo, we're dead! Alright, so we're going to go ahead and concede the game. Yep. Well played, opponent. Good news is it probably wouldn't have changed even if we'd hit Tron there. Opponent definitely had the combo. Ironically, that means that our 7 was our best hand there because it did have a Pithing Needle. But I think all of our choices there were well made. Bolt the Birds. We would like to play first. I told you we'd be winning die rolls. And mulliganing. I promised you both of those things. Go ahead and keep this. And I guess I'll put back Power Plant and keep Ghost Quarter. I guess if it's the mirror or something, I might want access to that Ghost Quarter still. Especially if my opponent named himself Bolt the Birds. They could have just named themselves that to remind themselves to always bolt the birds. This is a Thoughtseize. Nope. Serum Visions. I almost wish it had been Thoughtseize. Our hand is, once again, not very good. But we can draw off the top some pretty good hot ones. Isn't like ad nauseum, right? I mean, it could be ad nauseum, but I doubt it is, right? These aren't the lands for ad nauseum, I'm pretty sure. Right. Sphere, and then we'll crack it for a green. Ancient Stirrings, hit another tower. Tron Liberated is a pretty good hit. We'll also go ahead and stick this O-Stone. And we'll pass the turn. What are you, opponent? What is your deck? I'm just saying this feels like ad nauseam. I guess it could be every cantrip in the whole Death Shadow deck, but this feels like ad nauseam. It's slightly odd mana base to me, but he is unbound. Alright, you lost me. You lost me. I have no idea what's going on. That's some grape shots. Oh my god, they are Storm. Oh my god, they are Storm. Alright, let's draw. Let's Karn them. Take away a land. I see no reason to Ghost Quarter them, because if we Ghost Quarter them, we might be fixing them into red. Especially since there's Ideas Unbound, and then discard 2 cards I'm pretty sure they prefer in their grave. Yep, this is Lotus Field combo. So at this point, we just F6 and see if our opponent kills us. Well, opponent, do you have us dead? Well, imagine so, especially after a trillion cantrips. I wonder what the Watery Grave is for, though. Is that an Ideas Unbound splice? That looks like an Ideas Unbound spliced. That doesn't seem great for us. So we are probably dying right now to this combo deck. It's known as Twiddle Storm. So what they do is they abuse the land there, Lotus Field, untapping it and retapping it and untapping it repeatedly in order to generate a whole bunch of mana and cast a whole bunch of spells, and then they storm kill you with this grape shot that's in their grave. So I should have known based on that Ideas Unbound. Alright, flash it back, so let's see. 1, 2. I don't count this as being dead. The unfortunate part is we cannot go after their land, Lotus Field. It does have hexproof. So even though we have Ghost Quarter in hand, it doesn't do it. We're probably at 14 cards in hand. I'd be shocked if we were not dead here. Shockarood. So hopefully everyone out there is doing well. Hopefully everyone out there is enjoying the video, even though unfortunately we're just having to watch getting twiddle stormed off currently. If you do generally enjoy my content when we're not being twiddle stormed off, please send me a like, send me a comment. I love to hear from you, and I loved hearing how much you guys appreciate the content and what content you guys would like to see. So we're going to bring in the Graveyard Hate. And unfortunately, these Oblivion Stones, they literally don't have creatures. Literally do not have creatures. Surgical's okay, but not amazing. Worm Coil also not great, but probably coming back in because I don't know what else I can do. Yeah, gotta bring in some number of these, so I guess we'll bring in the Walking Ballista as well. And then what's actually on the board for going to Wish for? Trinisphere? Trinisphere is not even that great against Twiddlestorm, ironically, because see, Trinisphere has this little clause that says as long as it remains untapped, and their deck focuses around tapping and untapping. If this was a once upon a time, I'd probably keep. Let's go ahead and mulligan. We're going to keep this. It's not great. This hand is terrible. But that's what we've got. Let's hope to either that they stumble for just a couple turns, or that we were Picarding off the top. Oh, they're just going to thought. Okay, I was going to say, if they're just going to thought seize us on one. So they fetched Shocked for Watery Grave 2 games in a row. And I've yet to see a black spell out of them. Well, that's kind of nice to pair with Worm Coil, because that's a redraw. This is the requisite 2 lands. This is where we hope to hit Karn off the top and take away one of their lands. If we get to do that, which is a good chance to hold up Ceremonious Rejection right now, we are in a position where we get to keep them off their combo. Karn, please. One time. One time Karn me. Ooh, okay. I like this line out of the opponent. I actually like that line a lot out of the opponent. Because if we have Karn in hand, we can't Karn them this turn, and then they get to start comboing off on their turn. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the Sphere here, because we can still play and crack map, and I might draw a Needle, or Crypt. A little less happy about it here, but I still think we keep going down the rabbit hole. Alright, what did we find? Did we seriously find nothing after all that digging? Well, at least we get to go out of this game knowing that our tombstone will read, at least he tried. Show us lowest field, opponent. Yep. Alright, we get to F6. So, opponent's deck is not a deterministic combo like regular Storm. Although them having Psychic Puppetry off the from the start probably means it's very close to it. So let's watch our opponent storm to 20 again. And then we'll take our next match. So let's see what they do. Psychic Puppetry in the opening hand with Lotus Field is kind of their nut draw. Most definitely. Past in Flames? Alright. It's only a storm count 6 Past in Flames, though. And they had to start by just using an untap. They didn't get to splice Puppetry or whatever. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to sit here and see how this pans out, as the opponent now has 7 cards in hand. It's pretty obvious how it's going to pan out. Alright. Alright, Aria Flame, huh? Alright. That'll do it. That means that they only have to cast 6 spells, I believe, to kill us. 2-0'd by Twiddlestorm. Kind of a close game, game 1. Not at all close, game 2. Yeah, cool. It's a cool combo deck. Cool take on the Storm archetype, most definitely. My personal preference as far as Storm decks would definitely be Cheerios. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this thing with some water, and I'll be right back. Don't worry, the water's in the room, so I'll be back in like 2 seconds. Alright, looks like we found an opponent while I was off grabbing some water. So let's join this match. Losing the die roll. I thought we said we weren't going to do that anymore, right? Definitely recall saying that. This hand's actually pretty good. We're going to keep this. We're leading a little bit on these stirrings in our draw steps, but we'll see how it works out for us. Duplicate piece off the first draw step's not exactly what we were hoping for, but hey, this is the world we live in today. This is op during our end step. Oh good, we're against control. I say oh good, but yeah. Opponent knows that we wish we had led on map. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with this. Ancient Stirrings. They let it resolve and we still missed. Now we take Little Karn, any order, play this out and pass the turn. So I imagine this isn't cantrips here. It is. Must have been the draw step, because otherwise it would have cantripped at our end step. Life total doesn't really matter against Tron. Oh, please just Field of Ruin us. Oh my god, thank you. Alright, I'll take a 4. So we now can cast this other Ancient Stirrings, which is kind of nice. A little bit of a shame they didn't hit the power plant. So we've already had a tower destroyed, so we want to take this tower instead of putting it to the bottom. Then play out this tower and pass the turn. Right? No other things to do this turn. This costs 2, but it requires a green. Alright, cool. So if we get to Tron up next turn, which we could, we get to play card in the Great Creator. We have a draw step and a look at 5. Alright, looks like we're just going to be Field of Ruin again. I don't have to float here. I should have floated here, but Once Upon a Time is actually an instant. So we will be able to cast it during their end step. So let's cast this Once Upon a Time. See if they counter it. It being an instant is kind of sweet. Yep. Alright, so this is our turn to go ahead and slam this card in the Great Creator. Hope they don't have Force Negation. They do not. Yes, we will use card in the Great Creator's ability. Double check my graveyard. Do the Coding or Crucible? I think it's Coding. Crucible's a real consideration, and if we don't hit our land drop next turn, there's a chance that I do go for that. Alright, so awkward, another tower. It's probably counterbalance the Karn, which is a little awkward. Which means I should have wished beforehand. But if it doesn't happen that way... Oh, Spell Snare. Alright, sure. Yep. Alright, cool. This means that we're going to be trading Karn to put a Crucible of Worlds into play. Which actually seems pretty good to me. And pass to our opponent. So we will now make our 6th and 7th land drops, which is pretty good against control. Mystic Sanctuary targeting Opt. Yep. Opt definitely better than your regular draw step. One would argue it's almost 2 draw steps. So they get to take out Karn here, unfortunately. Yep. Ooh, opponent's paying costs. Let's see what they're doing. Opting? That's fine. Must be looking for like a Jace. Narset. That one's pretty good too. There's the Jace. If I found it, it just took him an extra turn. So let's go ahead and play this. Stone. And pass turn. I'm going to get 2 spells off the Narset, which is pretty bad. But they're very unlikely to play Jace now into O-Stone. If they do, sweet. Let's see opponent grabbing off their second Narset hit. Or whiff. Whiff if we're lucky. Looks like the opponent's tanking though, and I don't think they tank on a whiff. They might salt off on a whiff, but they're not tanking. Cryptic Command's a very reasonable choice. Not sure why the opponent tanks so hard on that. At all. Alright, so unless we draw the perfect Tron land from our hand, we're playing the one from our grave. Okay. Go ahead and cast a Ulamog trigger. Go ahead and take away this and this. And put them down 2 lands. They have multiple answers to the Ulamog, including just pathing it, which it looks like what they're doing right now. But still, putting control down 2 lands is definitely a good place to be. We would like to grab our last basic. Our opponent does not yet know it's our last basic, but it most certainly is. So what this O-Stone can do now is put a fate counter on the Crucible of Worlds. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. And then move to our turn. Another Ulamog. Another Ulamog. Karn the Great Creator's pretty good. So Sanctum of Ugin, because Sanctum of Ugin guarantees us Ulamog. Yeah, I'm down just guaranteeing another Ulamog. So Tron +1, Ugin, trigger. But Cryptic's here correctly. Yep. Counter and draw. That's fine. Yes, we would love to go grab an Ulamog. And then do we just pass with this O-Stone out? I think we do, and then just take them off 2 islands. We also get to replay the Sanctum of Ugin from our grave if we so wish. Kind of spicy. Alright, well, we no longer keep our opponent off of Jace. So we're probably just gonna slam this Ulamog on the battlefield. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Hello, Expedition map. Ulamog trigger. Let's go ahead and wipe out 2 islands. Like a snap cryptic. Okay. Counterspell, draw a card. Seems pretty good. Let's see, play a map. 7. We have 3 extra, but I don't really want to play another. We have to be able to crack this map and crack this O-Stone, so we're just going to pass the turn. Opponent no longer has Cryptic Command available to them. They have other counter magic, mind you. We're just going to take this. They don't pressure our life total too effectively, and going to 10 is not that bad. Ooh, tapped Mystic Sanctuary. Alright, sweet. So, end step, we're going to go ahead and crack this. Grab, I guess, Blast Zone? I think we literally run them out of the game with Ghost Quarter. Once upon a time. Alright, once upon a time there was a different land because I probably don't have threats left in my deck. Alright, cool. Ghost Quarter. Ghost Quarter your Mystic Sanctuary. Yep. Worm Coil Engine. Alright, pass to the opponent. They have cryptic commands available to them again. So hopefully this Crucible is what wins us the game eventually by Ghost Quartering them out. Potentially I should have grabbed Blast Zone. Narset's obviously not doing anything correct. We'll take 4 here. That's not a big deal. I'm just trying to get us to blow this O-Stone. We have so much mana, we're really not incentivized to. Green. Duh, can't draw. Narset. Narset, Narset, Narset. Not a big deal, but still, nonetheless a punt. Go ahead and take away one of their islands. We are on the Stone Rain plan. So if they float a blue, we will just move to the next phase. Hopefully they don't have more islands. That would be ideal. Alright, opponent's just using this as a draw 2. Okay, so we're going to get another threat down. Opponent does not have another land to go get. Alright. So I cannot blow O-Stone plus protect the other O-Stone, so I'm just going to pass the turn. So we've reached the point where Ghost Quarter is Stone Rain. And that we don't need Tron. We left it up even if they blow up. We left up O-Stone even if they blow up Tron. And we know that they don't have any more basics to get with Field of Ruin. So they have to Stone Rain themselves to Stone Rain us. Sweet. Definitely feel like Crucible was the good snag. And that getting it in under the opponent's counter magic there was the game a million turns later. Looks like they're committing the Jace now. Yep. So they're willing to get their field blown up. That's fine. If they try to path before combat, we get to blow the O-Stone and have a real good time. Because then we'll have our life linker and can begin gaining back some of this life they've hit us for. Although realistically, our win condition is the Crucible of Worlds. Alright, so since they've now committed the Jace, we're just going to go ahead and do this. And of course we have the other O-Stone. Yep. Karn there was a great draw, so we're going to start by ghost quartering them. I don't think they can beat a Stone Rain every turn. And then we're going to Karn them. And then even if they counter this Karn, we have O-Stone to follow it up. Yep. We figured that they were countering the Karn. But then we have O-Stone here. You have second Force of Negation opponent? I didn't think so. Alright, let's get in there for 6. Then pass to the opponent. So ideally, we don't want to have to blow this O-Stone on their turn. Like, even a Jace wouldn't make me blow it. Turnus is great. I'm sure they were planning on putting back a Wormcoil engine instead of just the tokens, but that's great. Good play on their opponent's behalf. They knew they weren't shuffling off of the Ghost Quarter anyways. That Polluted Delta can grab Mystic Sanctuary, I guess. So end step, let's put a Fate counter on this. Try next turn. Play a Ghost Quarter, destroy island. So if they try to field us in response here, which they're not, it doesn't look like they're going to. What we're going to do is float, like, about enough that we still leave 5 up for Oblivion Stone. Alright, so Sphere. Practice for green. Draw a card. Wormcoil Engine. Once again, not the best threat, but it'll do. And once again, we have 5 mana up, even if they field us. Okay, we got this one. So, Control, I feel, is a matchup that has a lot of play to it. Well, I want this Relic of Progenitus, and that most of my threats are good against them. Needle's good, but I think I'm going to leave it in the board. Huh. Yeah, Wormcoil Engine's by far the worst threats. Alright, let's try that. I want to say super well played by our opponent there, though. We cast 2 Ulamogs that game. And Stone Rained them like 3 times, and they were still trying to play it. So they almost rode those Snapcasters to victory, but they didn't know we had some Wormcoils the whole time. This is a mulligan. Yeah. Double check and make sure there's not a world that's keepable. See, I think this one is keepable. Alright, so we have 2 Tron lands. Any green source, especially on turn 1, gets us to Sylvan Scrying. And yep, like that one. This looks like Spell Pierce or something on this, but not much we can do about that. Nope, just Shock to Op. So opponent can sell Force of Negation or any number of things that keep us off of Tron here, but we're really hoping we get Tron next turn. Maybe the opponent's committing a Stoneforge Mystic here. That one's not ideal. Well, our green source doesn't work anymore. Our green source is broken, chat. What happened? It's broken. Awkward. Forced? God, this Stony Silence was just backbreaking. And I'm sure the opponent knows Stony Silence is very hit or miss against Tron. Plus mentor. Alright. I believe our opponent has spells. I believe them when they say they have spells. I mean, I don't think that really changes much of what we do. So they have Stony Silence. I don't think that... I think we just bring back in a Worm Coil, trade out an Oblivion Stone, and shrug our shoulders and go, yep, Stony Silence. Hell of a magic card. We're not currently running enchantment removal in our deck. It's a mulligan. This one's a mulligan. This one's a rough keep. Now let's lead off on the sphere. So Stony Silence also in this matchup, as I'm sure the opponent knows, means that we can't lattice lock them. If we do, we also lattice lock ourselves. Although I don't know if the opponent knows that, dang it! Your turn late there. Stirrings. So bad. Alright, so star, any order, blast zone, which is an answer to Stony Silence eventually. Eventually. His hand is pretty bad though. Mainly because Ancient Stirrings just whip. We're kind of counting on it. You need to float white their opponent for your Stony Silence. Yes. Well, we're on track to where we want to be. We have to add a counter this turn to Blast Zone. And then hopefully rip Urza's Tower. That'd be kind of nice. Ooh, opponent doesn't even get to Field of Ruin us? We get a turn to just whoops into Tron? Let's whoops into Tron. One Tron, whoops. Ah, shit. I think we just passed the turn now. The opponent can field our Blast Zone now. Double Field of Ruin. That's fine. This is great because we get to float. And then grab a forest. I guess it doesn't really change anything. Because we still do this. Oh no. We wait till the end of turn. We don't get to crack the star this way, but that stops them from playing a second Stony Silence. At least this turn. Crack this for a green while we still can. Cast this once upon a time. Hit a land. Cast the other once upon a time. Am I really counting? It worked for them. Very still, I don't know if that was the correct play, but it definitely worked for them. See what they've got. This looks like they're just going to field this again. Ooh, Jace. Alright. Jace means that we need to land our Karn pretty much immediately. Would also accept drawing Pinning Needle off the top. See if we hit Needle off the top. Expeditional Yawning. So their opponent targeted me with their Jace. Is tanking on bottoming? Then decides to bottom. Okay. Sure, we hit a sphere. I'd like to force of negation this. And there's a tower, but they don't know we hit that yet, so let's go ahead and one spot. Probably have Spell Snare here. Looks like they're representing Spell Snare. Straight up force of negation. That's fine. Now we're leaving ourselves in an opponent. We might be able to Lucksack into a position of landing a Karn plus a threat. Obviously with power plant. Heck, even a map or Sylvan Scrying would allow me to do some stuff with Karn. But as they started by upticking their Jace, I'm imagining their hand probably isn't bad. And we had to mulligan pretty hard for a pretty loose one this game. Mystic Sanctuary targeting Opt. Yep. Mystic Sanctuary, powerful magic card. If you don't know how powerful, check out our turns videos. Dampening Sphere. Dampening Sphere. Silly opponent. We don't have Tron. Silly opponent. How'd you know we'd have Tron? Alright, let's play our card in the Great Crater and get it countered. Yep, hard cast, force of negate. And then end of turn Opt. Did opponent not Jace? Oh, they Jace before they Mystic Sanctuary. Okay. Maybe we should have gone for Sylvan Scrying there since we read the counterspell. If we force them to blow force of negation, I mean, I guess they might not even counter Sylvan Scrying since they have Damping Sphere now. Not being hit by Colonnade leads me to believe that they have more spells and stuff. Okay. I'm gonna take this Crucible of Worlds. And we're gonna try to win this game like we won game 1 off the back of Crucible of Worlds. Front row, that's Angels. That's 2 Angels, that's 8 power. Also might be that's why they didn't counter it, as they weren't too worried about Crucible of Worlds if they had Angels. Angels. Well, those Angels are going to kill us pretty fast, so. Please put Force of Negation back on top of the library. Right, and treat the Angels. Alright. Opponent got there. We're 1-3. See if we can win the last match for a measly $5. It's been a rough one for Tron, that's for sure. This is good though. We're saving up all that cumulative variance for the MCQs. We don't want to win these matches. We want to win the MCQ matches. So far, what have we learned from the deck other than Wormcoil sucks against anything not attacking us? Just that? Alright. That's fair. We started off strong, murdering Supernose 2-0, and then fell into a slump. See if we can lift our head high and finish with a 2-3. And we're on the draw, so... Guaranteed me I had a Tron land not named Urza's Mine on top of my deck, I'd keep this. Rough day for the Tron team, as we take another mulligan. Oh no. Well, we're going to keep our 4. And I guess our 4 looks like this. Natural Tron plus a card. God, there's Storm. This is going to be another one we're going to lose because we're on the draw. If we're on the play, we probably have this on lock. This is the draws that kill us the most consistently, too. I guess we shouldn't have shown him we're not Eldrazi Tron. Please don't kill us, opponent. Please don't kill us. Ask a few cantrips. Sleight of hand. Good. If this misses on a land, and they don't have another land, that would be ideal. Because then they can't remand us, and they can't cast any spells into Trinisphere. This looks like no land. Ooh, this looks like no land, but they're set to kill us next turn. Woohoo. Justice for the Tron player on a Molda 4. Justice for the Tron player on a Molda 4. Trinisphere. Go ahead, opponent. It's a 3-ball. If the opponent misses on their land, we're going to cast this Wormcoil Engine. And after that, we're going to Lattice them. Aww. Well, they hit the land. Still cast gifts for 3. It's at least 3. Normally 4 reduced to 3 is still at least 3. Curious what our opponent Gideon Ravensword grabs here, though. Two lands, a repeal, and a pass and play. Huh? They might already have the repeal in hand. Feels an instant. Yeah. I'm good with just doing this. Obviously the card. Yep. Good. Let's not fire that off this turn. So if this wishes, let's see what we've got in our sideboard. I think it would be Relic. Actually, it'd be Tormod's Crypt. Alright. So this turn, we're just going to tick up the card on nothing. Play the Worm Coil and pass. Next turn, we're just going to go for the Lattice Lock. No other line seems better than that. The opponent has to find a way to repeal this now. While under the Trinisphere. Okay, we got there. So that was the correct line. Bring in the Surgical. I like having Trinisphere in the board and bringing in the Graveyard Hate. I think that's correct. Worm Coil might have looked really cool there, but really it's not that good. Bring in another Oblivion Stone to answer their creatures. Actually, I'm going to bring in Liquid Metal Coating. Here's my logic. I am always going to get Oblivion Stone with Karn. If I can cast a turn to Liquid Metal Coating into Karn, that gives us the best chances in this very bad matchup. It gets to be on the play as well. There's Liquid Metal Coating. But I think this one's a mulligan, because even if this Once Upon a Time guaranteed me a Tron land, double mulligan. This one I think we're priced into keeping, but it feels pretty bad. So we put back both our big threats, and we're done. So we're going to let their Sleight of Hand resolve. And then I guess we also go to our draw step, because we might draw a Tron piece. And then we no longer need to once for that. Case and point. Thank you, deck, for proving that for me. Well, that's not how this was supposed to go. So, Chromatic Sphere on a pass. Yes, that is a Tormod's Crypt opponent. I'm hoping it keeps you from killing me. Sure. Sure. Don't really care too much about that one. They didn't really shut themselves off of anything because they also have Island. So I can go grab a green. Ooh, a map. Lay out a map. Fine, and pass the turn. Alright, so we're going to keep an eye on our opponent's graveyard. We don't need the whole field, but we're going to keep a little peek at it. Steam Vents didn't hurt them to enter untapped. Kinda cute. Sure. Our turn. We do have O-Stones and stuff to get this off the board, and we even board in additional O-Stones. But I think at this point we just want to grab Forest. So obviously this is the most repealable of all of the Graveyard Hate. But not much we can do about that. Gifts ungiven. That results. So the opponent goes and gets. We get Past in Flames in hand for free, because we have this Tron script. Unfortunately, I've spent a lot of time playing against Storm. As I say that, I'm sure a lot of you out there are pointing out every misplay, which is totally fair. But I feel like I'm a little better about how we handle it. So obviously we've been the Abrade and the Empty the Warrens. And then the opponent can have their rituals. A little confused. So sure, the opponent has their rituals. They definitely did get tutor for rituals, so we're hoping to hit a land here. And hey, we hit one. Alright, here's our Karn the Great Creator. Or Betty Cardi Boy. Yep. And we're gonna get 3 bull. See what you got, opponent. You've got 1,000,000 potential mana. Your 1 blue spell this turn, though. Unless you have Manamorphose. The opponent's hand is full of cantrips, and I do hope it is. This Blood Moon may have actually hurt them more than us, which is kind of ironic. So we're not going to take up on the Trinisphere, even if we could use it as a blocker, because then just casting Grape Shot, deal 1 damage to Trinisphere, kills it, and that doesn't feel worth it. Sure. Alright, looks like they're going to try and get a couple more cantrips in here, before the Trinisphere goes down. Past in Flames. So we're just gonna crypt them in response here and let them go about their business. Ooh, opponent has triple right in hand. Even if they do, they also have to have Manamorphose. Oh, it's just Grape Shots to kill Karn. Alright, cool. Ping us a little bit. Maybe a second Grape Shot. If second Grape Shot opponent, nope, just the 1. Draw some land and land search. Land. I mean, good thing we do this now, because that means we get to cycle it before we have to Trinisphere. Land. It's pretty good for post-Trinisphere. Yep, this is a repeal. Nope. There's Serum Visions with the additional Trinisphere cost. So I can't attack them with Trinisphere, otherwise it turns it off. Kind of happy we drew Surgical there. Now if they ever answer this Trinisphere, we have to Surgical Extraction and do something about it. So I think Karn here grabs Oblivion Stone, and then we start to beat them to death with an Oblivion Stone. Seems pretty reasonable to me. Let's pass turn to them. Going to cast a 3-mana Manamorphose, which will allow them to have 3 mana post it resolving. So they get 2 spells this turn. Another Electro Boy. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Ooh, going after me. Alright. I like it. I like it. Alright. I don't like drawing the forest there, obviously. Oblivion Stone? Yeah. Yeah, this is an Oblivion Stone. You might recognize it as a 3/3 blocker. Alright, opponent, we can't really attack it with your 2/2s anymore. This trick allows them to do the same thing they did last time, which it produces 2. And let's see if they have Grape Shot. If they do, they get to kill Karn, because they just put 2 on Karn, and then Goblin Electromancer attacks it. There's another Manamorphose here, though. It's pretty good for us, because they cannot cast another spell. I guess if they had a land, they can. Did you hit a land, opponent? If you did not, would you like to attack into our Oblivion Stone? Alright, let's see if the opponent attacks. Ooh, opponent's going for it. Alright, 2 at me. Go ahead and take the block on one of them. We still don't get to wish for Lattice here. Draw. Another land there's not terrible, so that's it. 3, 4, 5. Not quite there yet. Let's tick up on Oblivion Stone and then pass the turn. And then put a Fate counter on probably the Trinisphere. At this point, we're getting to the point where we can cast most of our threats. That's fine. But it's an Abrade on 3-ball. That's not that big of a deal. Cool. I get to protect Karn now. Put a Fate counter on Karn. Another Karn, huh? Six. I don't think we die next turn. Famous last words. So I'm gonna go ahead and wish here. Yes. I'm gonna get a... This is just Lattice, isn't it? Alright, opponent. Do you have Bolt? You do not. Alright, I think we got this one. I think we got this one. Got our last match against Storm. That's so exciting. So opponent can still go Simian Spirit Guide Bolt on the Karn, but Storm does not play Simian Spirit Guide. They're currently hoping we do not have another threat in order to... Oh, they're going after us. They don't understand that we can just animate the lattice. Alright. Sun tap, upkeep, draw. Ooh, we drew the relic. Now we get to play a relic. Uptick Karn on O-Stone. And pass the turn. Keep in mind, we do not need to protect a relic. We can cycle the relic. Let's go ahead and draw a card. Put a fate counter on the lattice. Using all this red mana we have. Alright. Opponent was hoping that we would accidentally blow our own O-Stone and forget that we had lattice in play. Spoiler alert, that destroys our entire board except for the lands. Because Oblivion Stone specifically says non-land. So we weren't going to do that, obviously, except for the Karn. Winning against Storm is always a great feeling. So thank you so much for tuning in. Alex here with Lucksack Games, hoping to bring you some awesome content. If you enjoyed watching this Tron League, where we managed to beat up that Storm player in the last round and die to some Storm players in the rounds before, leave a comment down below. Hit that like button down below. Follow us on YouTube up above. Remember, the L in Lucksack is capital. Alex with Lucksack Games reminding you to have an awesome day.